Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, your place for news and gameplay. Some good, some bad, and let's be honest, likely some rage and tilting. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell for notifications. In today's episode, we're focusing on some test server action. This weekend, we're testing 2 of the 3 bots in the upcoming Greek pack, the Ares, the god of war, and the Hades, the god of the underworld. As with other bot packs, these typically come in 3s, but as of yet, we're not sure what the 3rd bot will be. The ability of both of these bots is called Revenge. In the case of the Ares, you have an impenetrable shield for 5 seconds that absorbs incoming firepower. Upon termination of the shield, the Ares deploys 4 additional weapons which release a total of 39 charges at 875 damage per charge. In addition, each of these charges can have their damage buffed by 100%, based on how much your shield absorbs. Further to this, you also receive an 80% speed boost for 5 seconds that you can use to either rush your target or run for cover. For Hades, you also have an impenetrable shield for a total of 8 seconds. As with the Ares, upon termination of the shield, it will deploy an additional weapon to deliver charges. However, the difference here is that each charge does a total damage of 2100 per charge, with a total of 10 charges being delivered. The damage of these charges can also be buffed depending on how much the shield has absorbed, but only buff the charges by a maximum of 20%. Instead of an increase in speed, this bot receives the ability to heal itself by 5000 HP per second for a total of 8 seconds, meaning it can recover a maximum of 40,000 HP. I say maximum because, like the Mender and Wayland, as you take damage and continuously heal, you can never heal your bot fully. Now that's a lot to take in and sounds just crazy. I'd like to also apologize for the following gameplay. For some reason, I lost the in-game sound, so I put in some musical scores in their place. It's the gameplay action that matters after all. Without further ado, let's get into the action. Well, that was 2 games, one featuring full lineups of the Ares and the other the Hades. My initial thoughts were going to be that these were going to be overpowered and potentially break the game. On paper, that's what they sound. And I've seen other testers having great success where others have good games but nothing extreme. In these games, as well as others I played, it varied. A couple of my games had high damage where others had what I would consider to be average. I think it's very situational, and with a skilled pilot it could be devastating. However, I do not consider either to be overpowered. I expected the Ares to dominate, but if anything, I'd say I preferred the Hades. Speaking of the Hades, I'm sure some are wondering, and I can confirm that no, the Hades cannot heal other teammates, only itself. A couple of tips with the Ares and the Hades. First, if you're going against another Ares or Hades, do not be the first to deploy your shield, especially against an Ares, as you do not want their charges to hit you. Instead, you want their charges to hit your absorption shield. Also, if going against another absorption bot, stop firing if they deploy their shield. You're just going to give them a buff to their charges, and you'll likely just drain your normal weapons so that they're reloading when the absorption shield on your target goes down. For the Ares, I would actually recommend to use the increased speed to run for cover. I found that the Ares is quite fragile without that absorption shield. While most people's tendencies are to brawl it out, I would say to save your bot and only brawl when your enemy target is near dead. If they're a capable pilot, they will be saving their firepower for when your shield drops. The other thing is that neither bot is invincible with its absorption shield. If a bot can get within your shield, you will take damage. Bots like the Pursuer or Strider can easily run or dash into your absorption shield and take you out in a heartbeat. I found that out the hard way. There are some builds that appear to counter the Ares and Hades relatively well. The Pursuer with Halo Gust took me out in my Ares before I knew what was happening. I've seen the Strider and Hellburners be effective as well, and in a one-on-one brawl, the Bulwark is a great counter. All in all, I'd say both feel fairly balanced. I'd maybe tone down the Hades just a hair, but I must say I was pleasantly surprised by how balanced both felt. Now, I say this with a grain of salt because the vast majority of the people I faced were trying the new bots out. Maybe they appeared balanced because most people were running them, and any potential for being overpowered was negated since 75% of the bots in the field at any one time appeared to be the Hades or the Ares. Only time will tell once these make it to the live server and people have more diversified hangars will we likely know for certain. Some final notes on the test server in general. First, I found there to be a lot of lag. So there were times where the crosshairs would register a hit, but then your target is instantaneously somewhere else without having suffered damage. I understand from the test server Facebook page that they were also experiencing some technical issues. I noticed on the castle map that when liberating beacons, it would not change to white once liberated. It would change to blue once you fully captured it, but when it was already red, it did not change to white. I only seem to experience this on the castle map. The other maps seem to function normally. Anyways, that wraps up this test server weekend. As always, if you like what you see, please consider subscribing and leaving a comment. Until next time, take care and cause some mayhem in the game for me.